I'm about to speak to Jon Nicholson from Royal Mail. I am a huge fan of Royal Mail, and I know we all are too. I'm so proud they're supporting SME SOS, and I couldn't believe when I found out that they've been going for 504 years and gone through 2 world wars. So they are very well placed to support us all through this crisis. I've collated lots of questions from the community. I have some burning questions myself, and I know Jon is a fantastic guy and is going to give us his time virtually to help us all while we support our own businesses. And this is one I can't wait for.
Hi, it's Jon Nicholson from Royal Mail. Looking forward to catching up with Holly Tucker later on her SME SOS as we talk all things distribution, how to access our services and how businesses should act in the current pandemic.
Hi Holly, how are you?
Hello, hi, nice to see you again. How are you?
Yeah, very good, thank you. Very good indeed.
Oh, well, firstly, thank you so much for joining me today. And I know I want to almost start off, and if you can pass on this thanks, that this community you're talking to really sends huge thanks to everybody at Royal Mail and everything that they're doing. So will you promise to pass that on?
I certainly will, Holly. I'll try and pass it on to every single one of the postings as best I definitely can. But look, it's really, really appreciated, and I think the thanks comes back from us too, because actually, without people continuing to send whatever they need to send, we wouldn't be able to continue either. So the thanks is reciprocal.
Oh, well, thank you very much. And thank you also, because I know we've joined forces with SME SOS. So thank you from me as well. So with that thanks out the way, I just wanted to sort of jump straight in, if that's okay with you, because we've collated a lot of questions from this community. The first one is, I think the main one here is there's been a lot of confusion as to whether small businesses should keep running their businesses online. And there's been these sort of rumours that, you know, only essential parcels should go through. And I know Store for the Mind and actually many, many more people have asked this, that that surely we want these small businesses to survive, don't we? And could you just answer that question for us? Because I think that's the number one thing that a lot of small businesses are worrying about.
Yeah, absolutely. And you can understand why. So I think I can defer actually probably to Alok Sharma's open letter to retailers last week, and it might be worth sharing the link at some point after this, Holly.
Fantastic.
But quite clearly they say, he says the government is clear that online retail should continue. It's good for the economy, and more importantly, it's helping people get the things that they need that they might not ordinarily be able to get, because they either can't go out or for whatever reasons. And it doesn't stipulate what essential items are. It might be easy to infer that that could be medicines or food, but actually he references specifically things like electronics or clothes or anything that people need to help and support people get through these really difficult times that they're facing.
So from your point of view and from the Royal Mail's point of view, and I'm going to share that link, that's great, there is no stipulation as to what essential items are. So let's be clear. So if I'm going to be sending my mum a care package because she's lonely right now, for me that is something that I'm going to be, that's an essential package for me. If I'm a small business and I am a one-man band and I'm making baby grows, sending out those orders is classified as, it's absolutely fine. It's classified as essential items for that business.
Yeah, absolutely. So all postal services will continue to be performed, be carried out. Delivery services are. So please do continue to send. Don't worry that you can't send those things. You absolutely can, and you absolutely should. And it's vital that we continue to do that through these really difficult times.
Well, that's brilliant, Jon. You've been so clear there. And the second question I have is, so some small businesses are worried about going to the post office. What is happening with the post office branches? And to be clear here, they're open for services as well. Is that right? Because this is where some people have been getting these mixed signals.
Now, the post office isn't immune to what's going on around them. You know, many post offices are small businesses themselves. They're independently run. And if the individuals that run those, have to self-isolate or take the necessary steps to stay healthy, then that is a fact of the situation we're in. But nonetheless, what post offices in the main are doing is staying open. They have been classified as key workers and critical workers in the same way that Royal Mail employees have. Some have reduced their hours to between 9 and 3 during the weeks and to 9 and 12:30 on a Saturday. But on the post office website and on our app, you can use a branch finder tool which will give you the latest information about your post office. Like all open retail estates at the moment, they are taking the necessary steps to protect both the staff and the public, following all of the social distancing guidelines, installing plastic perspex where it's appropriate. And so to your question, if people might be worried, they might be worried either because of closures, they might be worried just because of going out. So hopefully some confidence that, wherever possible and within their control, they're remaining open and keeping people safe and healthy.
Well, that's very helpful. So just a quick question just related to that before I move on to something I'd love to talk to you about. Some people have had some really awful experiences of going into their post office and almost being shamed back out of it. In terms of where those cases happen, what can people do to almost let Royal Mail know that this is happening in their local area? Because I'm assuming what you're going to say is that's not right. That's not what should be happening.
So you're absolutely right. That isn't what should be happening. And if that has happened to anybody who's listening, then my apologies that has happened. It's probably an important distinction, Holly, that Royal Mail and Post Office are separate businesses.
That is a really good thing, because I think some people don't know that.
Yeah, I suspect that's true, and arguably, why would you? We were the same business for hundreds of years, as you pointed out earlier. And when Royal Mail became privatised, that separation happened. Now, please, that's not to distance Royal Mail from the Post Office in any way. Yes. They are our retail partner. They are a hugely important part of the services that Royal Mail offer. So, but to your question, if that has happened, that's happened in error. And I know from speaking with my friends and colleagues at the post office that they had some of that feedback, and hopefully it was a very small number of circumstances, and communication's gone out across the branches to reinforce the message that I gave a moment ago, which is actually items should be taken. And it's important as well to remember that if that does happen with a post office branch, that please contact the post office through their contact channels on their websites. But actually, in the immediate, you can bring your items to a Royal Mail customer service point, which is the delivery office, the place you'd normally go when you get a red card through your door to pick up your parcel. Now, they're open in the morning at the moment, so we've changed those hours, but you can take your items there. And we've also got, which I don't think a lot of people are aware of, 1,400 parcel post boxes around the UK, which you can also find the locations of on your app.
Yes, now that's something I want to talk to you about. So tell me about these, because this is basically, you have these all over the country. You can find them on the app. And this is, so let's say you've gone to your post office, you might have had that experience. Well, let's say there's a queue around the corner, and you have a massive sack of things that you want to put in there. You don't want to be near people. Tell me about this service, because this is absolutely fantastic, and you can find the locations on the app. Is that right? Yeah,
on the Royal Mail app. So that's the easiest way to find them. If you download the Royal Mail app, and then you can find them wherever you're out and about. So typically they're in some of the bigger towns and cities. As I say, there's 1,400 of them. And quite simply, Holly, it's a post box for parcels. So it's got a larger opening to enable you to deposit your parcels where they won't fit into a post box, or if the post office branch is closed or any other reason. So you can use these all of the time. This isn't just a current impact. These are continuing to spring up around the country.
That is absolutely fantastic. I wanted to ask you, Jon, are there other ways to help keep online businesses running. In terms of what have you seen? Have you got any anecdotal messages out there or stories out there of what other people, online businesses, have done to support this period of time?
I think there's 2 points I'd like to cover, Holly, on this, if I may. The first is related to what we were just talking about around access to the post office. So many people who maybe don't send items frequently or are new to sending items online because they've made a change in their business in these recent circumstances might not know that they can buy their postage online through Royal Mail's click and drop service. That's the program that we use, and you can access all of our services on there, print your postage at home should you need to, and then you can either just drop the items off at the post office, the customer service point, or the parcel posting box. And I think that's probably quite important, because we shouldn't assume that people realise that that's all available.
I don't think they do, John. So tell me specifically how we do that. So we go, is that through the Royal Mail website?
Yeah, through the Royal Mail website. If you search Royal Mail click and drop, you can set up a pay-as-you-go account.
Yes.
You can produce your labels, as I say, print them at home. And if you're using the app as well, because one of the bits of feedback that we get is, I don't know how big my parcel is. What's the right size do I select? We've actually got an augmented reality tool on the app, so you can hold it up and it will tell you the size of your parcel.
Wow.
So you know what way to do it.
That is just unbelievable. So you can hold up your parcel that you want to send with the app, look at it, and it will tell you basically what postage that you need to plop onto it.
It can tell you the size. It will tell you the size, and then it will just make sure that you're selecting the right service for what you've got to send. And hopefully it takes away any of that worry of thinking, have I done this wrong? Am I using the right packaging?
And you know the drop-off services that we've just been speaking to around the country. Can you get proof of postage when you drop that off?
So not at the moment. That will be coming in the future, Holly. But what you've got, there's a couple of things you can do if you're using the app. You can select either our normal standard services, which people are used to buying in the post office, but you can also select our tracked services, which business accounts have used for quite a while. So although you don't get a proof of postage from the parcel post box, as it were, as soon as it hits our network, you get that scan data, so you can be confident that it's then in the network.
Brilliant.
So you can do that, and of course, all of the signature services are still available to buy. We've made some changes to the way we collect signatures, so we're not handing over PDAs and so on, but they all still exist as well. So hopefully, although you might miss that proof of postage you might get from the post office in that case, there's still plenty of ways to give yourself confidence.
Are the pickups for businesses that are remaining open still operating, or do they now need to start dropping off? If you've got that account, is that account now, is that still working as it usually was?
Yeah, absolutely. So everything is business as usual, Holly, accepting the fact that we are, in some challenging times. And like I was saying about the post office earlier, we're not immune to absence levels. The bit that I would ask, though, is for businesses who might do a normal amount of volume with us, but all of a sudden have seen a huge spike. Just if it can try and let us know as soon as possible, so we can make sure we've either got the space or the additional collections. Absolutely.
And so your message is that if you are fantastically busy right now, this is good news. Do not feel guilty, small businesses. Let your Royal Mail know that you are having this busy period if you have a business account, and that will help you support them. I want to go on to the next slide. If you don't already have a click and drop account, can you set up one now? And what are the minimum quantities that you need? Or are you not taking on any more business in a sense?
No. So to set up a click and drop account, you need the grand total of one item to set up an account. That's all you need, because that service is available for you all year round, all of the time to be able to print your items. But click and drop is also the default system that we use for any of our larger businesses, our account customers. And if you're sending more than 20 items a week, then that's probably when we'd recommend to get in touch with some of my team, and we'll work through the best rates and contractual agreements for you. And that way you can enjoy all of the benefits of being a Royal Mail business customer as well. But the click and drop tool, and the app for that matter, can be used with just a single item.
Single item. And so, but then the business account we're talking about, it's 20 packages. Is that a week or a day?
Yeah.
A week. So if you're sending 20 packages a week, you can apply to have a business account with yourself. And what you're saying is you can still do that right now. There's no stop on that.
Yes.
And tell me, do you have any information on your site or just generally for small businesses and basically trying to keep people safe, you know, so in terms of, I don't know, do you have any information out there that people could look up about what they should be doing just to have best practice?
Yeah, of course. We've got, I suppose, as most big companies have, a royalmail.com coronavirus pages, which gives all of the latest guidance and advice. That's around service as well as things like packaging and so on. That's an important point because we picked up some feedback that people are worried about receiving packages. Can the virus live on packages and so on? Unsurprisingly, we've spent quite a lot of time trying to understand that and understand if that's putting people at risk. And we're comfortable with the advice that we've got from Public Health England and the government advisors that suggest that's not the case. But we'd absolutely recommend the best practice, which people are very, very used to now, that if you are taking in a package from us or anybody else, once you've taken it in and unpacked it, wash your hands, soap and water, and so on. And that really is the best practice.
Jon, is there anything else that you can add? I think you've been so helpful, and I'm sure this community absolutely has loved, firstly, you being here with me live so they can ask these questions, but you've given us really practical tips and advice, and all of us can now go and action it. Is there anything else that you think that you can add, or anything that we haven't covered that you think this small business community could do with hearing?
So I think, Holly, and I think everybody listening will probably understand this advice, but we service from very small businesses to the super large businesses right across the UK. And actually, regardless of size, they're facing the same challenges, which is really, what do I do with my business? How do I act at the moment? And what do I do when I come out the other side of it? But the businesses that are either able to pivot and adjust or use this time to plan what they're going to do next, keeping in contact with their customers is really, really important. I'd encourage people who want to have a look at Royal Mail Hybrid Mail, which is a really neat way of keeping in contact with your customers through post, which can be used for businesses of any size.
Well, Jon, this has been absolutely fantastic. As I said, there's been so much love shown here on this chat, and I know everyone there is working very, very hard. I just wanted to thank you so much for supporting SMEs SOS, supporting this community, and giving us your time today to just be here and just answer the questions as they came along. And it really, really means a lot to us.
Oh, Holly, well, thank you for having us. And as I say, the thanks is entirely reciprocal. We are nothing without each other, are we?
Well, thank you. And I wish you and your family safety. Thanks so
likewise.
much, Jon. Thank you.
Thanks,
Take care.
Holly. Take care. Bye, everybody. Bye.
Well, that was the fantastic Jon from Royal Mail. I think you'll all agree. I was so glad that they wanted to come here live and actually do that live. You asked questions and I asked those. And I just think that that really gave us so much, I don't know, lots of words I'm seeing is comfort, a lot of reassurance. And certainly I feel the same. we've got to keep going. How many more people need to give you that comfort that everyone wants you to keep going? And so I just think that this is fantastic, and I hope you're feeling that and taking that message on board. Thank you as ever to NatWest, to 3, to Dell, and to Royal Mail, who are supporting SME SOS and allowing me to do things like this. Thank you all so much, and lots of love.